So, have you ever had that one class that you just regretted taking all year? Like, before you signed up for it, you were just like, you know what, this class seems like a good idea. This is something I could actually use for my future, and it would actually be very good. But then, whether it be a teacher, or the class lesson itself, or some other situation, you regret it the entire year. Well, I've had that feeling once, and I'm pretty sure many of you guys have as well. This is a story of a class that me, Tintachi, aka Carlos, and Zombie Fortress, aka Elham, have been through. So, 8th grade middle school, we were looking through our course things, and we were like, okay, so we can take these awesome classes. What is this GIS? And they said, oh, well, Geographic Information Systems, that's what GIS is. It's about you just looking through, making maps, tracking down local populations, local anything, and basically combining it in such a way that you have and make maps of patterns and or situations that are across your area. And we were interested in it, so we were like, hey, let's take it. Fast forward to freshman year, 9th grade. We're in that class, and we're like, okay, this is pretty cool. We're doing a few lessons, we're learning about this stuff. Okay, it's pretty good so far. Then it gets to the point where our teacher is like, okay, class, it's time for you guys to start getting on the computers. I've given you all this information, and it's time for you to start putting it to use. Here is this notebook, which is filled with a bunch of assignments for you guys to accomplish. We're like, okay, this seems pretty good. We worked on it, and whenever we had a question and went up to her to ask about it, she would just say, check the book. Have a question, check the book. Like, that's it. If the book isn't explaining well enough for you, well, check the book. Ask your neighbor. She wouldn't help with anything. Anything. And it quickly became evident that she had no idea what she was teaching. The teacher of our class had no idea what she was teaching. All she knew was, like, the lesson plan. That's it. It was like dealing with a substitute teacher. All year long. We would ask her things. She would have no idea what to do. Like, she wouldn't help us. We would end up having to help ourselves. And the worst thing, that assignment booklet, that was like 3 upgrades later. Like, we had ArcGIS, I don't even know. Like, it was a really old one. And then this was an updated book that we were reading with. We didn't have updated GIS, frickin' ArcGIS, what's it called, program, but we had the updated books to learn from. So we'd be like, okay, so where's this button that says for me to click? Oh, it's not even on there. What is it supposed to mean when it says to set the ratio to blank blank blank? This isn't even on my table. Pretty soon, everybody in class was failing. Except for me. So they started being like, hey, Donovan, how come you aren't failing this class? And I was just like, well, the truth is, I'm using cheat codes. And that's what I called it. So, what I did do was I went onto the final page of the assignment, which always showed a picture of what the final product would have looked like. And I used the other tools on ArcGIS to make that map look as, like, close to the other map as possible. And I called that cheat codes. I figured out how to select features and crop them into a different layer and all this other type of stuff. And people were at first like, well, won't the teacher check this and realize that it's fake? She had no idea about this because she didn't know what she was teaching. So she never did figure it out. She would simply go up there and be like, let me see your work. okay, it looks right. Good job. That's it. And the most we would have to do is explain a little bit about it, which we could do, considering we knew what the final product looked like and we knew what everything was supposed to be on there was for. So, that's what we did all year. We faked map presentations and turned those in. And even though she might have suspected something, she was never able to get solid proof because she had no idea what she was teaching. But the kicker really came from later in the year when she's like, okay, class, so we're going to have, you guys are going to come up with your own project. She said, okay, you're going to make your own project as a class, work on it together. And, like, so we need ideas for this. So on the piece of this index card, you're going to write down your idea and turn it in, okay? And she didn't take any of our ideas at all. She probably, I have no idea what she was thinking. I don't know if she was thinking, oh, I can gain fame and fortune with this. But she manipulated us into doing a different project that none of us agreed to, and then claimed that it was our project throughout the entire year, and that we had to stay dedicated to it because we were the ones that came up with that idea. Even though none of us came up with that idea, it was her who came up with that idea. Okay? But needless to say, that project was never finished. At the end of the year, we were like, yeah, we're not dealing with this. There was a substitute teacher the last few days of the year, so during our final exams, all we did was grab the frickin' laptop this one kid brought to school, and we all played Gmod. That's it. That's it. But because of extenuating situations, me, Tintachi, and Zombie Fortress decided, oh, let's take a second year of it, because it would look really good in our college applications, and also there was this test at the end of the year that we could take that would qualify us to do this type of stuff, and we would also it would also help us with getting more money at certain types of jobs, right? So this looked pretty good for us. We're like, okay, well, the class was easy the first year. She still has no idea what she's teaching, but we can actually use this year to learn a few things, you know, possibly do some things better. And then we would be able to pass this exam, like, breeze frickin'. Yeah. So, the first few months of that school year, we did absolutely nothing in that class. She had no programs for us to use. We already knew everything from the book, and she was just like, well, just wait a few weeks and then we'll get you started on something. And we're like, whatever. And so it was pretty much a free period at that point. Then she was like, oh, guys, just to refresh your memory, how about you go back and do all of the lessons that you did last year? She's like, yeah, just as a refresher course, you know, just so that you remember what you're doing and all that stuff. Never turned it in. She never checked it. That woman. So, she had us participating in, like, really, really stupid events that none of us agreed to. Like, she had us go and talk about GIS in front of a group of little kids, which she said was our idea, but none of us agreed to. Again. We were like, yeah, I don't think we should. I mean, sure, it'd be cool to tell little kids about it, but they have no idea of what really geographic information systems are, or anything about that. So, it wouldn't really apply to them. It's like trying to talk to a little kid about politics. It's a bit complicated, and it wouldn't make sense. Or at least it wouldn't make sense to me as a little kid. But frickin' this woman, she went behind our backs anyway, and was like, oh yeah, sure, they'll be coming, like, this day of this week, and they'll do this stuff. And we never agreed to anything about that. That's what the stupid thing is. And then, get this. She also said, okay, you guys want to come up with another project for the year. And so we put our heads together and we came up with this idea of a skate park. And it was the best idea ever, okay? I don't care what you have to say. Frickin', we were going to have a skate park on top of the parking lot, right? There would be, like, gates that you would have to, that you would actually have to, like, use your ID card to scan into. Like, we all have student ID cards here, so you'd have to use your student ID card to scan into it so the door would open and you could get in. But to even be able to use your ID card to get in, you would have to have a fee from the frickin', what's it called? From the frickin' office. Like, you'd have to pay a fee to be able to use it at all points in time, like $5 at the beginning of the year or something like that. And it also would have, like, solar panels on it, so it would help power the school. And there would also be lights on the bottom of it, like on the roof of the parking lot, but under the skate park thing. And it was going to frickin', like, protect the cars from the... So we thought it was just this amazing plan, right? And we had all the ideas thought out. We even, like, looked up ideas for, like, from other schools and about how they had, like, training programs and how having a skate park there would promote kids to exercise more. It was amazing plan. You know what she came up with instead? Like, she completely threw our plan out the window and was like, hey, I like the idea of solar panels on a roof. We're doing that. Manipulated us into doing this. We never agreed to it. Never once agreed to it. We wanted the skate park. Okay? And that was the most bullshit moment ever. Like, she wouldn't put up with us even thinking about our skate park idea anymore. Because that was our idea. I don't know what the hell she had planned. But frickin'... You know how I said that we never finished the project at the end of the year? Well, she had her other class finish it. Like, this will happen. Freshman year, we had our first year of GIS. Second year, we didn't have it at all. Our third year of high school, we had it again. But during that second year, when we weren't there, she had her other students finish it for her. And she then presented it to our school district. Which got her on the map. Like, now colleges were contacting her and trying to throw money at her program and all this other stuff. And then I guess she just decided, hey, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to use my students to gain more fame for myself. And that's pretty much what she tried to do. But we didn't put up with any of that bullshit. We half-assed the project, didn't care about it, and she got what was coming to her. And we ended up never being able to take that one test that would give us GIS licenses. So, ultimately, it was just a period that was used for writing for me, working on work for Zombie Fortress, and then frickin'... I think Tintachi just played a bunch of games. I don't really remember much. I know he worked on schoolwork sometimes, so he's a fucking hard worker, that kid. But yeah. Bullshit! Biggest bullshit ever. So, just be wary of the classes that you attend and or sign up for, and also be wary of the teachers. Because you never know which ones will actually be the good ones. Yeah. I guess I'll just leave it at that. See you guys later.